Hey guys, what's going on? It's Jugs, and yeah, this is some Bad Company 2 footage. Before we get into the actual commentary, I just want to briefly clarify a few things. This is my first time ever using the M95, so if you see me just miss repeatedly right here, over and over and over again, it's because I did not want to accept the fact that the sniper had no bullet drop whatsoever. So yeah, that's why I kept failing. But eventually, I get it. As soon as I hit him, and I accept the fact that my bullet's gonna go exactly where my reticle is at this fucking distance, as far as it seems, I start owning with it, and I go 31-7 at the end of this game. I'm not Grizz, I'm not Sergeant Enigma, I'm not any of those bros. I just dicked around with the sniper one time. This is my first time quick scoping in like months maybe in any first person shooter at all, so forgive me, but I do hit some pretty cool shots and teabag a few bros. But the last thing that I wanted to mention was that I am moving all my non-shooter stuff to another channel. My non-fighter and non-shooter stuff is gonna have its own channel, and that's the last channel that I'm making. So if you like my personality and you want to watch me play a bunch of games, if you enjoy me playing a bunch of games, I mean, you don't actually have to be playing those games. You don't really have to have an interest in those games too much. You just have to, like, just watch me play. It's not really that difficult. Like, even if I didn't enjoy, Oblivion, and if Hutch was doing a commentary on it, I'd still watch it just because I like his personality. So if that's something that's been holding you back, then feel free to just check it out. Just try to watch a few episodes, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. That's totally fine. But anyways, I'm going to make a new channel for that. I will keep you guys updated on Twitter when I finally make it public, as well as I'll post a bulletin on here, as well as mention it in a future video when I finally do have that cleaned up and running. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Now let's get into the actual commentary. So the topic of this commentary is going to be identity and finding out your identity specifically. It's going to be about you, and I'm more or less trying to give you the tools to figure out who you are as you go through stages of your life, like high school and college, or maybe it takes you a little longer to figure out who you are, because more often than not, the point that people truly find out who they really are typically, and when I tell you all this information, a lot of it, I'd say like 90% of it is coming from a psychological background. I'm not just speaking out of my ass when I say this stuff, but some of it will be from personal experiences, but most of it will be from empirical sciences, or in this case it's like the study of psychology. And I love when people write off psychology like, oh, it's a load of baloney. Like, no, man, it's an actual science. Like, they do studies and they make observations and they look for consistencies and different patterns, like neurological patterns, using modern technology to make these readings. And if you think that we're justified in being able to read the psychological patterns of any other animal besides ourselves, then you're pretty arrogant, because I mean, we're a lot more advanced than anything that exists with us on this planet, guaranteed. There's no disputing that. But you're probably overestimating the difference between us and lesser animals, and it's not that great that we can't comprehend what's going on in our brains. And there's definitely a lot that can't be explained as of yet, but there is a surprising amount of information that you can find is pretty true, and it's pretty relevant and consistent in psychological textbook studies. So I mean, just keep that in mind. One thing that I want to mention as well is that I might be giving advice to somebody that's older. I might be giving advice to somebody that's younger. I'll never try to feed you information that I don't feel confident that I know, or that I don't actually feel like I have wisdom about. A lot of times I feel that commentators make that mistake and try to speak on things they don't understand and give advice about things they don't understand, like talking to girls and like dealing with stress and life and death, and like they have no real experience with it. They have very little experience with it, or they're trying to figure it out for themselves the first time. And when you do that, it's real shit advice, and you're putting other people in this situation where they're gonna fail. And when I don't know something, when I'm unsure of a topic, I just shut my mouth, and I don't speak on it. I don't try to feed you guys advice on it. So when I do open my mouth and share something with you guys, it's definitely something that I feel confident about. And like I said before, I might be giving advice to somebody that's younger, that's older. I'm aware that a lot of people that are younger than me may be much more mature than me. I've seen it in the past, and I'm sure I'll see it in the future. And I'm definitely aware of the fact that there are a lot of people that are older than me and that are less mature than me by quite a margin. So I just don't want you guys to think that that I have no sense of credibility, that I'm not actually a mature individual because I dick around and talk about, dicks and make all these kind of weird jokes and act all immature on Twitter. But the fact of the matter is, the difference between a kidder, a jokester, and a mature jokester, mature kidder, or whatever, a clown, I guess, if you wanted to paint me that way. I'm not really that funny to begin with, but I guess clowns aren't funny. And an immature child is, you can look at the JX23 scandal. Like, that's not somebody being funny. That's somebody being a fucking child. Like, they don't know where to draw the line and say, okay, this is going too far. I need to stop fucking around. And that's just one of the things that separates an adult from a child. So anyways, just to briefly give my advice some kind of credibility, like why do you think, what experiences do you have that makes you mature for a 19-year-old to be giving me, a 24-year-old or a 22-year-old, somebody that's older, or even somebody that's a younger skeptic of my advice? What gives you the credibility to talk about these kind of things, like you know what you're talking about, or that you've actually had responsibilities in your life? And my answer to that is, when I had a lot of responsibilities in my life as a younger child. I was maybe 11 or 10 or something like that when I had the responsibilities of a fucking family man, enter guile theme here, thrusted upon me to provide. And I wasn't the only one doing it. My dad was working, my mom was working, everybody had to work to put food on the table, and I was just one part of that. So I had to deal with a lot of responsibilities that a lot of people never had to deal with as a child. I went through a lot of struggles in my life, or there was a period in my life where I went through so much shit that you cannot even imagine. I went through it all in like the span of like 6 months. I went through poverty, depression. I went like through almost my parents. I was in the middle of my parents being divorced. My parents went through drugs. They were just snorting up a whole shitload of cocaine. All in a third world country where we all had to work just to provide, sustenance for ourselves. And I went through so much shit, and I'm not really gonna go in and clarify, with all those experiences, because it's not really necessary. Just know that I've gone through so much in my life that I really had to step up to the plate and be a man. And I had to stop being a kid. There was just no choice. It was either stop being a kid or be dead weight, and be an ingredient for my family's failure to live. I guess that sounds a little dramatic, but I think that carries some reality in that. So I just wanted to give you guys a few tips of advice, and there's not much time, but it's really simple advice. When you're going through high school, you're not going to know who you are. It comes a lot later in life. I'm not sure if I mentioned this already, but the one advice that I can give you guys is try everything. Try everything. Try anything and everything that interests you. And a lot of people you'll hear a lot of people tell you this. Older people, teachers and coaches and everybody trying to sway you one way or another to listen to like the lecture or to join their team or whatever. And if you don't believe it because it sounds kind of biased, or you don't want to listen because they're older, then listen to me. I'm somebody that you can relate to, and it's really true. It's true advice. You're not going to know what you're interested in or what you're not interested in. Even if you feel a pull towards that activity or that object, you're not going to really know until you've tried it and said, okay, I know what this is all about now. Now that I can actually say this is not what I enjoy doing, or this is not what I can see myself doing for the rest of my life. So whether that be trying out, being an emo, fucking having like 15-inch long black bangs and wearing eyeliner if you're a guy, and fucking being a little punk head, just do it if that's what interests you. If you want to be a fucking jock, if you want to like play basketball, or you want to play volleyball, or you want to play tennis or soccer or football or golf, whatever it is, just try it. Play on the team for like a month, 2 months. Like, you can quit anywhere throughout this, but I encourage you not to quit. At least just play it for a year. And then at the end of the year, you can say, okay, I've seen what this is all about. I've made some friends. I've met some people that I don't like that I do like. This is not what I'm about, or this is what I love. And slowly you start to build yourself an identity of interests and dislikes. And the last big thing that I can really tell you is, as far as friendship goes, you're gonna need it. Friends in high school, or when you're figuring out who you are more or less gonna serve the purpose of telling you what you find desirable and undesirable in other people. And it's you're not gonna know who you are, and they're not gonna know who they are. And even if they knew who they were and you didn't know who you were, you're not gonna be able to form any real lasting relationships. So don't even think about marrying your girlfriend in high school, that you met in high school, unless you like both understood individually who you were, because you can't find out everything about the other person unless they know everything about themselves. And put it this way, like human interactions, friends, sports activities, classes, all that stuff, it's just data. You're just collecting data so that later on in your life, after you've collected enough data, after you've had enough experiences with everything, you can justifiably say that this is not what I enjoy, that this is what I enjoy, and this is what I'm about, and this is not what I'm about, and this is what I want in my spouse, this is what I don't want. And then you start looking, and then you find that solidarity, and then you know who you are, and everything just unfolds after that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the wisdom I have to give you guys. So I hope you guys found this entertaining. I hope that I can help you guys in some way, shape, or form in the future with this advice. So anyways, if you guys found this advice informative, take the time to please give me an honest rating. If you thought it was a load of shit, then please let me know in the comments and with the thumbs down. So anyways, I appreciate you guys' attention, and I hope all the best works out for you guys. Or does that make sense? I wish you guys all the best, and I wish that everything works out for you guys. So I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. This has been Jugs.